There's a new kind of global power struggle going on right now, and it's not being fought with armies or navies, but with something much, much smaller. We're talking about microscopic pieces of silicon that are, believe it or not, quietly shaping the future of pretty much everything. Let's get into it.
So, here's our roadmap. First up, we're going to break down why AI chips are being called the new oil. Then we'll look at the incredibly fragile global supply chain that makes them. After that, we'll dive into this new Pax Silica alliance that's forming to protect it all. And finally, we'll ask the big question. Is this leading to a world divided by a new silicon curtain?
All right, let's dive right in. We've got to start with what is, without a doubt, the absolute foundation of our modern world. Section 1. AI chips, the new oil.
I mean, we hear about AI constantly, right? It's changing everything. Medicine, finance, the way we work, you name it. But have you ever stopped to think about what's actually powering this whole revolution? What's the one physical thing that makes all of it possible?
Well, the answer is kind of simple, but also unbelievably complex. It all comes down to these tiny, intricate pieces of silicon. You know them as semiconductors or AI chips. These are the literal physical brains behind the entire AI boom.
People have started calling them the new oil. And honestly, it's the perfect analogy. Just like oil powered the 20th century, these chips are going to power the 21st. The countries that can design them, make them, and control where they go, well, they're going to have massive leverage over the entire global economy.
But here's the catch. All of that immense power is sitting on a foundation that is surprisingly shaky. And that brings us to Section 2, the fragile silicon chain. It's truly a marvel of globalization, but wow, it's also a huge vulnerability.
Okay, so this is the part you really have to get. No single country, not the US, not China, nobody can make these advanced chips all by themselves. The process is so incredibly specialized, so complex, that it's created this global choke point where everybody depends on everybody else.
So let's look at the key players in this game. You've got the US, which absolutely dominates the design and software part. Then there's the Netherlands, where one single company, ASML, has a total monopoly on the mind-bogglingly complex machines that actually make the chips. Japan provides super specialized chemicals and the silicone wafers. And then you have Taiwan, the undisputed master of actually fabricating the most advanced chips.
Think of it like a crazy high-stakes global assembly line. An American company like NVIDIA designs the chip. That design gets sent over to Taiwan, where a company like TSMC makes it, using a hyper-advanced machine from ASML in the Netherlands. It's this incredibly intricate dance where if one partner stumbles, the whole thing falls apart.
And this is the number that should probably keep you up at night. 92%. That's the percentage of the world's most advanced AI chips that are made in one single place, Taiwan. That is a staggering concentration of power and skill.
And because of that concentration, you have this unbelievable risk, a single point of failure, a natural disaster, another pandemic, a geopolitical crisis. It wouldn't just be a local problem. It could bring the entire global tech economy to a screeching halt. So, faced with that massive vulnerability, what do? Well, that's what brings us to Section 3, the forging of the Pax Silica, a brand new kind of alliance for this new technological age.
So what is Pax Silica? The name literally means peace through silicon. It's the strategic pact that's forming between all those key players we just talked about. The US, Taiwan, Japan, the Netherlands. The whole goal is to protect and secure their shared supply chain.
Now let's be super clear about one thing. This is not a military treaty like NATO. It's a strategic alignment. It's built on shared economic interests and making sure the right technology stays in the right hands. This is all about securing supply chains, not deploying troops.
So what are they trying to do? It really boils down to three main things. First, secure that supply chain between the allied nations. Second, control who gets access to this incredible tech, mostly using export controls. And third, work together to make sure they all stay ahead of any strategic rivals.
But here's the thing. An alliance like this doesn't exist in a vacuum. For every action, there's a reaction, right? And that reaction leads us straight to Section 4, a world divided. This is where we start to see the potential for a great technological decoupling.
What we're seeing start to form are basically two competing tech spheres. On one side, you have the Pax Silica alliance, focused on protecting their supply chains and controlling exports. And on the other side, you have rival powers pushing for total self-sufficiency, pouring billions and billions of dollars into their own tech industries to try and break that dependency.
So why should you care about all this? Well, the consequences could actually be huge for all of us. We're talking about a splintered internet, where different parts of the world are on totally separate systems. Competing tech standards, which could mean your phone doesn't work when you travel. It all leads to more tension, more friction, and you guessed it, higher prices for us, the consumers.
And all of this leads us to our final section, and a really powerful idea that kind of ties everything together: the silicon curtain. It's a 21st century twist on a very famous 20th century idea.
So the idea here is that just as the Iron Curtain once divided Europe ideologically, a new silicon curtain is now descending, and it's dividing the world technologically. This isn't a wall of concrete and barbed wire, it's a barrier built out of export controls, patent laws, and who gets access to these incredibly important semiconductor factories.
And that really leaves us with the big question. Is this division inevitable? Are we watching the beginning of a new technological Cold War, one that's going to be fought with tiny silicon chips instead of nuclear missiles? The alliances being built right now are setting the stage, and the choices they make are going to shape our world for decades to come.